Mbali Dlamini has built her entire life around one thing: justice. As a brilliant young public prosecutor, Mbali believes that the law exists to protect people from those who abuse power. She has worked hard to build a respectable career, a career completely separate from the dangerous world she once knew. But Mbali's carefully controlled life is about to collapse, because someone from her past isn't dead after all. Her brother Moses is still alive, and he's not the same man Mbali remembers. Moses has become the powerful leader of a ruthless criminal syndicate operating from inside the prison system. For Mbali, the discovery is devastating. The brother she believed she had lost has become exactly the kind of criminal she has spent her career trying to put behind bars. But before Mbali can even process the truth, her family is placed in danger. Her younger brother Sphelele becomes caught in the reach of Moses' criminal organization. And suddenly, Mbali has a problem the law cannot easily solve. She's a prosecutor. She's supposed to bring criminals to justice. But one of those criminals is her own brother. And now the safety of another brother depends on him. Mbali is forced into an impossible decision: follow the law or protect her family. At first, she tries to believe she can control the situation. Maybe she can use her position as a prosecutor to understand Moses. Maybe she can protect Sphelele without becoming part of Moses' world. But she quickly discovers that criminal organizations don't operate according to the rules she knows. Inside the prison system, loyalty has a price. Information has a price. And betrayal can cost you your life. Moses understands this world better than anyone. He has built his power through fear, influence, and carefully chosen alliances. But Mbali sees something different. She sees the brother she once knew, buried underneath the criminal. And that makes her situation even more complicated, because no matter how dangerous Moses has become, he's still a brother. Mbali is eventually forced to become more deeply involved with the syndicate. The woman who once stood in court demanding justice now finds herself secretly navigating the criminal world she was trained to destroy. She becomes trapped between two identities. To the outside world, she is a prosecutor. To the people around Moses, she becomes someone they cannot completely trust. And that is where the real danger begins. Every conversation becomes a test. Every decision could expose her. Every mistake could put Sphelele in even greater danger. Mbali knows that if Moses discovers the full truth about her intentions, she could lose everything: her career, her freedom, her family, even her life. But Moses has his own problems. Running a prison syndicate means constantly fighting for control. There are people beneath him who want more power. There are enemies waiting for him to make a mistake. And there are people outside the prison who want to use the organization for their own purposes. The deeper Mbali goes into this world, the more she realizes that Moses isn't the only threat. The entire system is built on secrets, and everyone seems to have something to hide. Mbali's greatest challenge becomes figuring out who she can trust, because the people claiming to help her could just as easily be setting a trap. And the people she's supposed to arrest may be the only ones capable of protecting her family for the first time in her life. Mbali begins questioning the simple idea of justice she once believed in. What happens when the law cannot protect the people you love? What happens when doing the right thing could get your family killed? And what happens when the person you are supposed to destroy is the person you desperately need questions follow Mbali everywhere. Meanwhile, Sphelele is caught in the middle. He becomes more than just a younger brother who needs protection. He becomes the reason Mbali is willing to cross lines she once swore she would never cross. Every sacrifice she makes is for him. Every lie she tells is meant to keep him alive. But the more Mbali compromises herself, the harder it becomes to return to the woman she used to be. Moses also begins to see that Mbali's involvement could change everything. His sister knows the law. She understands how prosecutors think. She understands investigations. She knows how the state operates. And that makes her extremely valuable. But it also makes her extremely dangerous. Because if Mbali ever turns against him, she could destroy everything he has built. The relationship between brother and sister becomes a dangerous game of trust. Neither can completely trust the other, yet neither can completely walk away. Family keeps pulling them together, while the criminal world keeps forcing them away. But Mbali's biggest problem is no longer simply keeping her family safe. It's keeping herself alive. The deeper she gets into Moses' world, the more dangerous every move becomes. She begins to realize that the prison syndicate is much bigger than she originally imagined. Moses may appear to be in control, but even he has enemies. People who want his position, people who want his money, and people who are waiting for the perfect opportunity to destroy him. For Mbali, this creates an even more dangerous situation. Because if Moses falls, everyone connected to him could fall with him, including her. Mbali starts using everything she knows about the justice system to stay one step ahead. She understands how investigators think. She knows how prosecutors build cases. And she knows exactly what kind of evidence could bring the entire organization crashing down. But there is one problem. She cannot allow anyone to discover what she really knows. At work, Mbali has to maintain the appearance of a dedicated prosecutor. At home, she has to pretend that everything is normal. And around Moses' people, she has to convince them that she is there for the same reason they are: survival. But living two lives begins taking a toll. Mbali becomes increasingly isolated. She cannot tell her colleagues the truth. She cannot completely trust Moses. And even Sphelele cannot know everything she is doing to protect him. Every secret creates another secret, and every lie creates another problem. Then things become even worse. Someone begins asking questions. Questions about Mbali. Questions about her connection to Moses. And questions about why a respected prosecutor is suddenly showing interest in people connected to the prison syndicate. Mbali knows she's being watched. The question is, by whom? Moses, the police, a rival criminal group, or someone much closer to her than she realizes. Meanwhile, Moses becomes increasingly suspicious himself. He knows that Mbali is intelligent, too intelligent. And he understands that someone with her knowledge of the law could become his greatest weapon or his greatest enemy. Their relationship becomes a dangerous chess game. Every conversation has a hidden meaning. Every question could be a trap, and every answer has consequences. Mbali wants Moses to believe she is helping him, but secretly, she is trying to understand just how powerful his organization has become. And what she discovers shocks her. The syndicate isn't simply about criminals inside a prison. It reaches far beyond the prison walls. money moves through different hands. Information travels between people who should never be connected. And powerful individuals appear to have their own interests in keeping the operation alive. Suddenly, Mbali realizes that destroying Moses' organization may not be enough. There is something bigger behind it. Something that could explain why so many people are willing to protect the syndicate. And if she exposes it, she could bring down people far more powerful than her brother. But exposing the truth could also put Sphelele directly in danger. That leaves Mbali with another impossible decision. Does she continue digging? Or does she walk away while she still can? For the first time, Mbali seriously considers walking away. She has already sacrificed enough. Her career is at risk. Her relationship with her family is falling apart. And every day she spends around Moses' people makes death feel closer. But then she remembers why she entered this dangerous world in the first place. Sphelele, her younger brother, is still vulnerable. And walking away could leave him completely exposed. So Mbali keeps going. She pushes deeper. She starts connecting information that other people have overlooked. Names, meetings, money, and secrets. The pieces slowly begin forming a picture. And the picture is disturbing. Someone has been manipulating events from behind the scenes. Someone who benefits from the conflict between Moses and his enemies. Someone who understands exactly how to use the justice system against the criminals, while remaining invisible themselves. Mbali realizes that she may have been looking at the wrong enemy all along. Moses is dangerous, but he may not be the real mastermind. And now she has another problem. If Moses discovers the truth before she does, he can make a move that puts everyone in danger. Somebody has to find a way to warn him without revealing what she knows. But trust between them is already disappearing. Moses begins questioning her loyalty. Mbali begins questioning whether Moses can still be saved, because her brother has changed. The man she remembers is still somewhere inside him, but years of crime have hardened him. He has learned to survive by trusting nobody. And sometimes that means hurting the very people he loves. Mbali, Finn. Mbali has finally realized the truth. The people behind the syndicate are not simply criminals looking for money. They have influence, they have connections, and most importantly, they have people inside the system. That means Mbali can no longer trust everyone around her. Not even the people she once considered friends. As she secretly gathers evidence, she discovers that someone has been monitoring her movements. Every meeting, every phone call, every visit to Moses. Someone knows what she is doing, and that person is getting closer. Mbali knows she has very little time left. She decides to move the most important evidence somewhere safe before anyone can find it. But before she can complete her plan, Moses discovers that one of his closest men has betrayed him. The betrayal changes everything. Moses realizes that the people around him are no longer loyal. They are simply waiting for the right moment to take everything he has built. And now, he has to decide who he can trust. For the first time, Moses listens to Mbali. She tells him that the only way out is to stop fighting everyone around him and expose the people controlling the operation. Moses doesn't like the idea, but he knows she may be right. Meanwhile, Sphelele finds himself caught in the middle. He wants nothing to do with Moses' criminal world, but because he is connected to the family, the people hunting Moses see him as leverage. Sphelele is targeted, and suddenly Mbali's greatest fear becomes reality. Her decision to enter Moses' world has placed her brother in danger. Mbali rushes to protect him, but the attack is only the beginning. The syndicate sends a warning. They want Moses, and they are willing to destroy anyone standing between them and their target. Moses finally understands that running is no longer an option. If he continues hiding, people around him will keep getting hurt. So he makes a dangerous decision. He will confront the people who betrayed him, but this time, he will not do it alone. Mbali helps him prepare. She knows exactly what evidence they need. She knows where the weaknesses are, and she knows how the authorities will react once everything becomes public. But she also knows that once they expose the syndicate, there will be no turning back. The plan begins. Moses pretends to make peace with his enemies. He allows them to believe that he is desperate, that he has lost control, that he is ready to surrender everything. But secretly, he is setting a trap. Mbali watches from the shadows. Every second feels dangerous. One mistake could expose the entire operation. Then the enemies arrive. They believe they have finally won. They believe Moses is trapped. But they don't know that Mbali has already prepared the evidence. The confrontation begins. Old accusations come to the surface. Betrayals are exposed, and people who once worked together suddenly turn against one another. Moses finally names the people who have been controlling the syndicate, the people who have been using criminals as pawns, the people who have been profiting from the chaos. And then Mbali makes her move. The evidence is released. Authorities finally have enough information to act. The people who believed they were untouchable suddenly realize that the game has changed. But they refuse to go down quietly. The situation erupts into chaos. People run. Phones begin ringing. Orders are shouted. And everyone tries to escape before the authorities arrive. Moses has one final confrontation with the man responsible for destroying his family. The two men face each other. Years of anger, betrayal, and revenge all come crashing together. Moses has the opportunity to kill him for a moment. It looks like he will. But Mbali's words come back to him. If he kills another man, he will never escape the life he claims to hate. So Moses lowers the weapon. For the first time, he chooses a different path. He chooses to let the law decide. But that decision comes with the price. Moses knows he will have to answer for his own crimes too. He cannot expose everyone else and pretend that he is innocent. And Mbali knows this as well. She has spent the entire story trying to protect her family, but now she must face the consequences of her own choices. The authorities begin arresting the people connected to the syndicate. The network starts collapsing. Money is seized. Information is uncovered. And powerful people who once believed they were protected finally find themselves exposed. But the victory doesn't feel completely like a victory, because Moses is still facing charges. And Mbali's career is now in serious danger. Her superiors discover how deeply she became involved. She tried to protect her family, but she tried to protect her family. But she tried to protect her family. But But she tried to protect her family. 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 But Mbali finally stands before the people. Mbali has finally realized the truth. The people behind the syndicate are not simply criminals looking for money. They have influence, they have connections, and most importantly, they have people inside the system. That means Mbali can no longer trust everyone around her. Not even the people she once considered friends. As she secretly gathers evidence, she discovers that someone has been monitoring her moves.